Good morning, everyone. Ti Dave here. We've been. My first announcement is I'm going to show a video of a perp doing a serious noise campaign and some serious psyops to one of our TI friends, and she got it on video. I'm going to play that video. Um, but we are we're focusing on bettering ourselves spiritually, physically, and health wise, and to do that. We're going to have to, we can't promise that we're going to be able to call anybody and talk to them. So if you reach out, I'm sure we'll get to you in time, but we can't be on no time schedule. So please don't get frustrated at us. We are going to continue doing videos and interviews. However, we're going to take some time. We'll still be in contact with our close friends and stuff like that. But we're going to take some time to focus on our health, our spiritual path, and you know because we deal with psyops and all kinds of stuff too. We just don't talk about it, and people who are close to me know the reason why that we don't talk about it, so, and I'm sure a lot of y'all could figure it out if you really think about it. I'm doing it. Well, I'm not gonna get into it, but so I just, you know, I we do plan on getting back in the swing of things, and I'm not saying that I won't call you and Holly won't call you or anything like that. It's just we don't want to make no promises. Things got really busy. We did not want to be infiltrated. So you got to understand, we got 40 or 50 people we check in with, and that are talking to us and stuff like that, and it gets, and then, you make promises to call them, then you get too busy, and then it lets them down, and then they get upset. So, we're not putting no time limit, no promises on contacting anybody, but, still reach out because if we have time, we are going to do it. We just don't want to make promises no more at this point. And we hope that changes, but we got to focus on some stuff first, and take care of some stuff going on here. Then we can do that. So, that's all I want to say about that. And this video is going to be, oh yeah, I'm going to be doing uh, crazy but informative videos of the week, short videos. And so if you have any videos you'd like to share that don't have the word in it, or the any kind of word like that, or anything talking about what happened in 2020, that illness, and you think that it'd be a good video to share on here, please send it to targeted testimonies at pm.me or hollyspunk@gmail.com. I am going to get to emails, and I do have a couple interviews to schedule. And I'm going to do that this week. So anyway, let's get into this. Let's see, share the screen. All right, now this is uh, our friend Deb. Now I got to close this application window. Okay, share, see. Okay, my bad. Okay, so that's our friend Deb. I had it pulled on the screen. I don't know what happened, but I'm going right to it, so it don't matter. Let's see. So our friend Deb been getting harassed for a long time by her neighbors, and she sent us a video. Now watch this video. This is right next door to her house. I apologize for the language. I'm just showing you what happened. Oh, okay. Now, this is a straight up noise campaign. They know she's outside. They know she's aware of everything that goes on around her house. They've been doing this stuff to her for years. And so this is a straight up noise campaign, and it's used for verification, used for a number of things. First, annoy you, first verification, because once you react, they're low, they're collecting that RNM data from the verification process of her paying attention and reacting to it. This is hard not to react to.
What the hell? What is this? What the fuck is this?
And if you zoom in, I can't zoom in, but
These are the entity neighbors.
you can see they're dancing around or doing something with the fire. And said something about she's so scared, something so scared. And of course, there could be plausible deniability, and that's what they always leave. Oh, they're outside making a fire. Well, they've never done this next door, and
Building one hell of a. What the hell, man? Look at that.
now it could be, you could just say, well, that's just a fire. Well, they don't build fires out there. And, well, they do build fires, but I'm just saying her neighbors have never done nothing like that. But they have been harassing her. I've seen multiple videos of these noise campaigns they do, just different stuff. And I'm sure they know that she has cameras and she's out there, and it bothers her when stuff like that goes on, and that's why they do it.
Is this radiation? Because that's what it looked like before. Holy shit. What the fuck?
So you got to understand, they wanted a reaction and they got it. And that's what these evil people do is they have nothing better to do than pick on some lady somewhere or somebody, and I got a good book. Matter of fact, I should have read that today, but I'm gonna be reading a good excerpt about gang stalking. This woman puts it. I'm talking about this woman describes everything I've been through and more. I should have done that in the video today. Read that book. And I might just do that right now. Let's see. Okay, I got another thing I wanted to play for y'all. I'm gonna stop sharing. Oh, okay. Okay, let's see. This is a short video. Listen to this. I've been trying to tell people they're 30 or 40 years advanced.
Are and dark secrets you know about DARPA? They are always 20 years ahead of anything that you or I know. So any technology that is like, what the hell was that I just saw and you're not supposed to have seen? That's DARPA. They were doing Neuralink in the 90s, right? They are always doing things 20 years before you know about them, because they do what is called blue sky technology. Blue sky research and technology, yes. And they have to be ahead of the curve. They have to be, right? What are the most?
Okay, that's another one. And another thing is methylene blue. If you're interested in knowing the drama going on in the community, and I'm not about drama, but I'm going to put this link in the comments, okay? This is something that went down with you know what, 420, Sabrina and Corrine. And I'm not trying to start nothing, but I think this video is important if you've been taking methylene blue. Come up with your own decisions, but I'm going to put this and I'm going to pin it in the comments if you're interested. Anybody interested about what's really going on in the world and how people are pushing products that are helping augment you. This is no lie, and there was a big breakup between some people, and that's all irrelevant. But uh, it's just very, because I respect, I follow Kareen, and I think that maybe she made a mistake, maybe she did it non-intentionally. But anyway, please look in the comments for that pinned. But wait and watch the rest of the video first, because I am going to read something real quick. Sorry, I got some cold. Okay, let's see. Seems like they're always fog in this house with dust. But anyway, listen to this. So this is from the book Chemtrails, HARP, and the Full Spectrum Dominance. And the reason I'm reading this is how misinformation works. This is good stories, true stories about whistleblowers and fake whistleblowers and how they do this. This is about chemtrails. In the late 1990s, when HARP was coming online, jets were laying chem bombs that made people violently ill. The internet was alive with guessing games about the strange behavior of persistent contrails lingering, dispersing one what NASA Langley research scientists already coined as Cirrus contralis. At the same time, a meme utilized by the Air Force flamed over global net chemtrails. According to chemtrails confirmed by William Weil, a former pilot ocean navigator, the earliest chemtrail observers were World War II and Korean War veterans who had retained their habit of keeping a sharp eye on the sky. Immediately, they recognized that the skies over their California homes were being gridded not by normal contrails. When they contacted military operation at nearby Air Force Base, Fresno Yosemite International Airport, all they got for their trouble was plausible deniability. No flights planned, no equals, no jets overhead. Researchers slowly began to realize that some of the friendlies they were encountering on the internet were spreading the bad seed of disinformation, and that they were on their own. Given there were no topical books in the library, at least until 95, when the book Angels Don't Play This Harp by Nick Bejic and Gene Manning came out, insiders, anonymous sources, and whistleblowers began slipping out of the shadows. Were they legitimate or disinformation agents? Kevin Barrett offers insight into the problem. He said the main way that covert operators keep secrets is not by keeping them, but by revealing them through a discredited source. For example, young George Bush's cocaine arrest, which got him thrown out of the National Guard, was revealed in an operation orchestrated by Karl Rove to a journalist named Jim Hatfield. Rove, Bush's minister, and others confirmed the story to Hatfield. Then when Hatfield revealed the coke bust in his book, Fortunate Son, Rove in turn revealed that Hatfield was an ex-con with a conspiracy to murder conviction. 60 Minutes did a hatch job on Hatfield, and all copies of the books were burned by the publisher. From then on, no respectable journalistic outlet would go near the Bush cocaine arrest story. So listen to this. So Fred Bell, what they did with him, they did a fake alien abduction, one of their black projects on it. That way, when he talked about them being able to track you and target you via your brain print, nobody believes him because the first thing they say was, "Oh, he talked about aliens." They mind controlled him to talk about that. So a lot of people giving good information are sown. They all right. So anyway, let's go. Given all the deaths of scientists who have broken with their blood oath confidentiality agreements, the anonymity that insiders often insist on upon their own safety is understandable, but can work against what they're revealing. Here are three positive examples and one less so. Angels co-author Manning had a fortress encounter with Mr. X, whose revelations in Pentagon Maniacs about Pentagon maniacs and Bernard Eastland's HARP patents led directly to Manning and Bejic digging into HARP projects unfolding near Gacona, Alaska, and writing angels to forewarn the public. Then in 2001, Deep Sky stepped forward, a senior air traffic control manager for the Northeast Seaboard of the United States, who taped 3 interviews with Will Thomas and veteran radio journalist S.T. Brent, insisted that he had been ordered to divert incoming commercial flights away from USAF tankers spraying a substance that showed up on ATC radars as a haze. Both early whistleblowers seemed authentic, as did the anonymous, well-placed military source that an independent scientist and Morgellons researcher, Clifton Carnicom, encountered in 2003. His insights into the biological aspect of chemtrails operation were for the most part credible, not so much for who he was confirming other accounts from random angles. He said the aerosol operation is a joint project between the Pentagon and the pharmaceutical industry. And then he said the Pentagon wishes to test biological for the war purposes on some biological, you know what, on unsuspecting population. Severe acute respiratory syndrome is a failure that at the expected rate of mortality was intended to be 80%. Then he said the PHARMA is making trillions on meds designed to treat fatal and non-fatal diseases. Then he said the bacteria and illness are freeze dried and placed on fine filaments for release. Then he said the metals released along with the diseases heat up from the sun, creating a perfect environment for the bacteria to thrive in the air supply. Most countries are being blanketed, are unaware of activities and not consented to activities. He states commercial aircraft flight is one of the delivery system. Most of the players are old friends and business partners of George Bush, is what he stated. The ultimate goal is to control all populations through directed, accurate spraying of this stuff. People who have tried to reveal the truth been in prison and killed. In his final words, this is the most dangerous, dark time I've experienced all my years serving this country. But then, the following year, the anonymous insider Deep Shield showed up on the internet to stir the pot, claiming that he worked with chiefs and levels above the worker. Borrowing heavily from the National Academy of Scientists, 1992 policy implications of greenhouse warming mitigation adaptation and science base. Deep Shield's revelations read chapter and verse like much of the conspiracy spun pablum that dominated the first few years of the internet. Deep Shield hung heavy on chemtrails as Star Wars Shield, straight from the Strategic Defense Initiative introduced in 1983 by the Reagan administration. Under President Clinton, Strategic Defense Initiative was renamed the Ballistic Missile Defense and faded from headlines. Deep Shield insisted that the chemtrails agents was about creating ozone in the stratosphere, stemming infrared, ultraviolet radiation, and terraforming and dying of planet. That public secrecy was merely kept from people from panicking. He claimed that defending against UV poison had brought U.S., Russia, and NATO together, and that they were involved in chemical production and distribution with observers on hand when aerosol canisters were being loaded. Because the shield had to be maintained for the sake of the entire planet, non-participant nations were being sprayed too, and not spraying was considered a military offense. He agreed tons of heavy metals, polymers being sprayed were making people sick, but insisted without spraying, we have a 90% chance of becoming extinct as a species within the next 20 years. Not once did Deep Shield mention HARP. Then, having spun his internet spin, he dropped from sight with a suicide story trailing behind him. Mainstream media play an essential role when it comes to silencing voices attempting to expose secret programs that constitute a danger to public and republic, whether those dangers are non-thermal radiation, GMO food, DU weapons, HARP, or chemtrails loaded with ionized metallic particles and pathogens. Going public in the Land National Security Act is risky. In 2000, New Zealand environmental scientists, and he's given examples of how people have come in and gave good information and been discredited. Gave damning testimony regarding electromagnetic radiation before the New Zealand Parliament and European Parliament in Brussels. The next year, he was diagnosed with a fast-acting motor neuron disease, became increasingly immobile, dying 2 years later at 56. New York attorney Andrew Campanelli advised city councils across the U.S. about writing more protective telecom ordinances and suing to stop the onslaught of cell towers. One summer day, his new office landlords turned off the air conditioner and stairwell lighting, and the elevator cable snapped and left him suspended between floors. When he tried to use the elevator phone, he was cut off, even as he smelled smoke. By the time the firefighters arrived, he crawled out onto a chest-high floor. The prominent journalist newspaper, Süddeutsche Zeitung, reports that individuals and groups opposed to GMOs and the glyphosate and Monsanto's Roundup herbicide have been threatened, hacked, slandered, and terrorized. As Chapter 6 will reveal, when it comes to biotechnology and control over production of food and geoengineering, megacorporations work in tandem. And the company with starts with an M has ties that I just mentioned, has ties to U.S. intelligence, military, private security companies. Former M executives hold scores of key government positions, while anti-chemtrail activists around the world attempt to awaken public awareness through protests, like the Global March Against Chemtrails geoengineering August 25th, 2013, January 25th, 2014. Uh, Monsanto consolidates its geoengineering clout by purchasing Climate Corporation, a farmer insurance underwriter, for $1 billion, according to a report prepared for Prime Minister Putin by the Foreign Military Intelligence Director. John P. Wheeler, a West Point Harvard Yale insider, was brutally murdered on New Year's Eve after threatening to expose the U.S. military's test of poison gas phosgene that killed hundreds of thousands of animals in Arkansas from 2005 to 2008. Wheeler was special assistant to the Secretary of the Air Force and special assistant to acting assistant Secretary of the Air Force for installations, logistics, and environment. He then worked as a consultant for MITRE Corporation, producer of the first draft of HARP's environmental impact statement, which bypassed the congressional scrutiny, was instead announced in the Federal Registry. Strange death happened to NASA employees as well. Paul Milford Mueller, 76, co-navigator on the Apollo navigation team, was found in Thailand in May 2013 with a rope around his neck and genitals, plus drug paraphernalia nearby. He worked at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory at the California Institute of Technology. 7 years earlier, former NASA astronaut Charles Brady, 54, was found dead by knife wounds on Orcas Island, Washington. When chosen as an astronaut, Dr. Brady had been serving in the U.S. Navy's Tactical Electronics Warfare Squadron 129. He spent 16 days, 21 hours, 48 minutes, and 30 seconds, and 173 miles in space above Earth on Space Shuttle Columbia, saying of his journey, and if you believe that, some people don't believe in space. You almost feel guilty of being up there. The oceans were so blue they were almost phosphorescent. The landmass was something like you dream of a child. The Earth's a magnificent place and it does look perfect from space. At the same time, we saw evidence of rainforest destruction, damaged river systems. It makes you come back feeling very deeply like you want to protect Earth. He added that he was totally unprepared for almost corporeal transformation that takes place in space. It is as if God suddenly made you into a dolphin. It's a mystery of billions of trillions of times deeper than I'd ever imagined. How different from the military mindset that has loosed HARP and chemtrail technology on planet Earth. So that's just some ideas of what they'll do, and it was a perfect thing what they said. So of they would discredit people putting good information out. They would discredit them somehow. And there was one more. I'm trying to let's see if it goes to it. I don't think this is it. Okay. I'm sorry. Please bear with me. I am. Oh, I know where it's at. Hold on. It's another book by Nick Bejic, and I got this book. I own this book, but it's on the. I need to get away from reading books on screens. Okay, this is well, I'll have to find that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to be reading some good stuff on Gangstar. A good description. We have started cutting that stuff off, everything off, and just reading in silence. And it's very, very good for you. And so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I really want to read this right now, but I'm going to do it tomorrow. Don't ask me what book it is. You'll find out tomorrow. Um, but anyway, I hope you got something out of this. Especially what I read the second, and you see how the neighbors did that on purpose. Now, there's going to be plausible deniability, and that's what they always leave, which is why we choose to collect evidence and distort and keep it protected. But we don't look down on people that put evidence out there. This is a good example of a noise campaign. Perfect example. They know that she has video. They know what's going on with, and that she speaks about her targeting. And you can't tell me that they didn't raise their voices and do all that on purpose. And it freaked. It had a freak out effect on her, and I don't blame her. And we're glad she's all right. We checked on her. So anyway, that's just a tactic they do. And Oh, I had so much stuff planned. Oh yeah, James Rink. If anybody watches James Rink, I don't agree with everything he said, but he ran the Super Soldier Talk on YouTube and Super Soldier Rumble channels where he interviewed individuals who participated in secret space programs. His YouTube self-description was, so anyway, he said he'd been subjected to trauma, monarch programming, human cloning connected to military abductions, and mind control. On his YouTube channel, he uploaded a video that suggests he was a recipient of a direct energy attack that targeted his body in such a way he had a heart attack followed by heart failure. Uh, the video suggests that the reason he was attacked because he had been exposed in tactics and methods they called unapproved signal overlaps with regards to cloning handler techniques, memory fragments, and other things that the overlords don't want present in everyday consciousness. In other words, he was causing a breakdown of memory gaps in program system slaves, in addition to adding dangerous information to public knowledge base. Years. Okay, so another thing, they might have somebody giving really good information, and then get them to talk about aliens, and regardless if aliens are real or not, TIs don't need to be talking about aliens because we're trying to prove that this is really going on. And once you say that word, it just throws it out. So anyway, rest in peace to him. He has 441 videos currently on YouTube. Um, It says, my heart goes out to James and family of extended family interviewees and other experiences of the horrors he went through. His death reminds us that it doesn't matter who's president, king, or commoner. The occult hierarchy is patient when it wants to take someone out of commission they can do. And his name was James Rink. Now, I am going to check out his YouTube and see if if I can vibe with some of the stuff because you got to understand. See, I try to, well, I'm just going to start rambling. Um, so let's end this on something positive. Well, let's end this on one of these meditations while we're here. I've been reading a lot of stuff, and instead of being in my phone and stuff, just reading stuff. And so I'll have a lot more stuff to bring to y'all. I'm just unorganized at the moment. Uh, let's see. Okay, we cannot navigate forward while staring in our rearview mirror. We've all kept copious chronicles on being stalked, harassed, drugged, poisoned, and robbed. We have sagas of complete, utter humiliation, experiences of seduction, abandonment, as well as numerous setups of being played as patsy. They are all sad, horrendous stories. They have left us with wounds that bleed and scars we see every day. We hear that time heals all wounds, but our condition only seems to worsen. We wonder, how can people do this to another human being? We become paralyzed with unhappiness when we further dwell on our past. It's another form of bondage. Apostle Paul tells us, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth into those things which are before. Philippians 3:13. We change our mindset to break the chains that bind us. We pull ourselves up and out of the victim seat, replacing our disgusting thoughts of yesterday by scriptural promises about our future. By also doing something for someone else, we can experience a brief reprieve from feeling victimized. If we get active and passionate about doing something other than complaining, we allow the Most High's army of angels to work in our life. The devil will constantly lie to us about how dreadful things are, while God wants us to have faith in belief in the future. God sends your angel to smite the demons that come to destroy me. Isaiah 37:36. And the Most High in the Strong's Concordance, look up the Most High in the Strong's Concordance. Elion is how you pronounce it. So anyway, God bless all TIs. I hope you found this interesting. Remember, crazy videos of the week. If you'd like to submit it, submit your video, send it from targeted testimonies at pm.me. I will be getting the emails today about the testimonies for the people who's emailed me. But I am, well, I ain't gonna talk about that, uh, but yeah, send that there. And just know, sometimes it's better, uh, sometimes it's better, sometimes it's better to protect your energy until you can get yourself right where you need to be. And that's what we're focusing on right now. This stuff gets stressful. We will still be helping people and talking to people, but we're not making no promises or nothing like that, because we just have too much going on, and we're gonna put ourselves first right now at the moment, and we have to focus on getting ourselves right. God bless.